Just a love note for black women this morning, for little girls, for aunties, for grandmothers, for wives, for partners, for lovers, for teachers, ditch diggers, engineers, around the way girls, to presidential candidates. We black men who have too often failed you, who have too often not said the right thing at the right time, who have been vulnerable to the claim that we have forgotten what you have done for us, the magnificence of your service to our people, the beauty and power of your spirit at times when we flagged. We remember all the remarkable things you have done and beg your forgiveness for us not standing up for you when times were tough, or when no one else was in the room to defend you, to assert the legitimacy and validity of your personhood. Please forgive us. But no more will that occur. And so the other night, Keith Boykin and I were on CNN trying to be respectful to the Congresswoman who insisted upon misnaming, mispronouncing Kamala Harris. Do you call Melania? Do you call Ivanka? Then call Kamala. Then call Vice President Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris. And soon, we pray and hope and work that you will call her President Kamala Harris. So this is a note to put on notice anybody who would come for us, who would try to stain the reputation or besmirch the character of black women, not only the Kamala Harrises of the world, but the Shaniquas and the Jackies and the Renees and whoever else a black woman happens to be and whatever else her name happens to be. We will stand tall for them, not you unprincipled harridans, you people who assault the legitimacy of our black womanhood. More than 20 years ago, in 2003, I wrote a book called Why I Love Black Women. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't black women magic. It wasn't black boy joy. This was before there was a trend. So I've been doing this. I've been on the front line of defending black women. I've been on the front line of saying that despite our imperfections as black men, despite the ways I have personally hurt or harmed any human being who happens to be a black woman on this earth, despite all of that, what I have always understood is the principled deference to their power and their spirit, and the principled defense of their humanity in the face of unprincipled assault. And so this is just a reminder that we will continue to stand as black men for black women. We will continue to have your backs. We will continue to uplift you. We will not allow a woman like Congresswoman Nancy Mace. I didn't call her Nancy Machi. I didn't call her out of her name. I insisted that she was a wonderful woman. She proved otherwise in her behavior. And then she immediately, in a reactionary fashion, suggested, oh, you're calling me a racist. I did not. But if who the cap fit, wear it. If that's what you pretend not to be, then don't do it. Racists are who racists do. So the reality is, my sister Nancy Mace, that you must come to an understanding that you don't get the right to call women what you want to call them, especially as a white woman. Do you not understand the history of white supremacy, where white women were able to call black women anything they wanted to, not to have to know their names? So Becky, Barbie, Karen, please understand that we will no longer silently be complicit in the erosion of the integrity, in the assault upon the beauty of our sisters. We love all the women of the world, but on this day, we unapologetically uplift the virtue, the vitality, the viability, and especially the visibility of black women. Let me show you what I'll do to protect this. Shoot at you people like movie directors. Love your black women. Just do.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing a part two of the Michael Eric Dyson video. I'm gonna have to laugh at what he says. In other words, you putting Kamala Harris as a black woman, and you try to defend all black women, and none of y'all has ever done research on Kamala Harris's background, let alone what she did as Attorney General of California. But yet, you want to defend her, right? You know, because he was on CNN. Let me start off with this. So Michael Eric Dyson was on CNN. You know, basically on one of the panels, I guess, talk about Kamala Harris and everything. And one of a white congresswoman, I guess, mispronounced her name as Kamala or Kamala, and Michael Eric Dyson got offended by that. Oh, why? I mean, why you have to disrespect Kamala's name? It's not Kamala. Kamala's Kamala. Blah blah blah. Right. So, you on the first video that you just saw, that's what happened, and that's why he responded in his own live. It was really on his own video of what happened that night. Let me say this, and this is why Democratic pundits, they always do this. They want to defend the candidate, but not do enough research on the candidate. But yet, y'all want to, for example, y'all praising Kamala Harris, who's the vice president of the United States, who basically did well, and black people in the black community, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did pass the holiday of Juneteenth, passed the Black Music Month, etc. Right? But guess what? Most people in the black community do not want they do not want Juneteenth. This is not what we wanted. They don't want Black Music Month. We don't want that neither. You know what black people really want and they ignore is they want reparations. No, and I'm gonna tell you like this: no study. I'm tired of people saying we want to study reparations. We don't want no study. We want reparations, cash payments. That's number one. Number two, they need to create a law to pass the anti-black hate crime bill, where they also ignore. But y'all want to praise Kamala Harris and her accomplishments as Alpha Kappa Alpha. Y'all praising her as she graduated with Howard University, and y'all still think she's a black woman, which makes no sense. Y'all choose to ignore and these are scholars I'm talking to. You know, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, he's one of the scholars. You choose to ignore Kamala Harris's background. You choose to ignore what she did as Attorney General in the state of California. You choose to ignore that. But us black people that have sense, have the intelligence, we know how Kamala Harris is. People who live in California all their lives, knowing about Kamala Harris being Attorney General, how she treated people in the black community, they know how she is. So when I heard Michael Eric Dyson, oh man. And this is mainly the reason why that a man like that don't deserve respect at all. Not only us brothers, but women too. Because you basically want to defend a black woman that's not even black. And this is the same Kamala Harris that put fellow brothers in prison innocent brothers in prison for no reason. Just a little bit of some marijuana. And you talk about the sisterhood, Michael Eric Dyson, she allowed her own sister to be unalive. Oh, but y'all want to ignore that. because she's Kamala Harris. Oh, because she's the vice president of the United States. Oh, because she's Alpha Kappa Alpha. Oh, because she graduated from Howard University. This. You know what's so sad, ladies and gentlemen? What's sad is that Democrats don't care who they are. They want to put a person in without even do enough research or have done due diligence, and they ignore her history. They ignore that, and I'm gonna go there. They ignore that this is Mayor, former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown's mistress. They ignore that this is also the mistress of Montel Williams, the ex-talk show host. They ignore all of that. But y'all wanted to, you trying to convince all these black people, let's vote for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, we need to bring her in. We hate Trump. We do not Trump. Let's go for Kamala Harris. And y'all themselves don't do enough research about her. But I told you before, Democrats, y'all going to continue boosting up Kamala Harris. She's going to be the next Stacey Abrams. Watch what I tell you. Because black people, smart, intelligent black brothers and sisters, are going to look at this and say, nah, her. Now, like I told you in my previous video, will I ever support a black woman as president? Of course. Of course. But I'm going to tell you like this. Kamala Harris, first of all, isn't a black woman. She's Indian. She's East and Southern Indian descent. Her father lives in Jamaica, who's also an Indian. And Kamala doesn't portray herself as an Indian. As a black woman. She portrayed herself as an Indian. But she used the black card to get you guys to vote for her. And that's what it is. Michael Eric Dyson, as a scholar, should know that. But he chose to ignore all the stuff that Kamala has done to us while she was Attorney General of California. He ignored that. Most Democrats, black Democrats, congressional black caucuses especially, also ignore what Kamala Harris did to us. Black Californians never forget what Kamala Harris did to them. But yet, you call her, she's a black woman. We need to protect and defend our black sister, the blah, 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 blah. You're right. You're right about one thing, though, Michael Eric Dyson. We as brothers need to protect the black woman. But not Kamala Harris, because she's not one of us. Y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments.